heard you wanted to add some greenery to your space. Well, I'm here to help. This is the beginner's guide to shopping for indoor plants. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, hi, welcome, I'm Patrick and I love plants. And in today's video, I'm going to show you just the right plant to add to your space. Plant shopping can be intimidating with so many options and choices, but I'm here to help steer you in the right direction of which plants will do great and serve their purpose for a long time. We're going to go over everything from hanging plants, little plants, to large statement plants. First, we're going to talk about the snake plant. Snake plants are always a great place to start. They're super easy to care for, and it's one of those plants that you could just set in the corner and forget about for a long time. What's great about Sansevierias or the snake plant is that they come in so many different colors and shapes and sizes that you have so many options to choose from. Like this Sansevieria gold flame, or this Sansevieria starfish. This is a cylindrica Sansevieria, super cute. But what's great about Sansevierias is that they don't require much water. They're also very forgiving about what kind of light you give it. You could pretty much put this anywhere in your home and it will survive if you give it the most minimal care. And by that I mean watering it when you remember to. Sansevierias are a great plant to add to your home if you're looking to add some greenery to your space but don't know where to start. Say you wanted to add a big plant to your space, like a large plant. As long as it gets enough light, then may I suggest the Dracaena? Both of these are Dracaenas. Dracaenas are a great option because they are not very demanding as far as care and even watering goes. If you can comfortably read without straining your eyes, then that's definitely enough light for a Dracaena. Wait, let's talk about light for a second. Lighting is one of the key factors in keeping a plant happy, and that can be a little tricky, especially for someone just starting out. When plant shopping, you'll see that there are some care guides posted around, and some say low light, high light, and medium light. Now, what does that exactly mean? Well, let's start with windows. The most coveted window placing for a home is south-facing windows, because if you live in the northern hemisphere of the planet, then the southern-facing windows get the most sun. So if you have a south-facing window, I would consider that to be high light. If you have a west-facing window, that gets direct sun later in the afternoon as the sun is setting, so I would consider that to be medium light. But you also have to consider the temperature, as you don't want the leaves of certain plants to burn. And if you have an east-facing window, that gets direct sun just as the sun is rising. So that gets nice, soft, diffuse light, and most plants love that. But I would consider that to be a softer medium light. And if you have a north-facing window, don't buy any plants at all. There's actually lots that you can do with a north-facing window. I consider a north-facing location to be ideal for a lot of houseplants. Since a north-facing location doesn't get direct sun, a lot of the houseplants that I keep outside in a north-facing direction does really well. So there's lots that you could do with a north-facing direction. Now, another way to think about lighting is if it's in complete shade outside, then it still gets plenty of ambient lighting. That is bright and direct light. Now let's get back to the plants. When I first started getting into houseplants, I really fell in love with the beautiful maidenhair fern. As many do, it's so beautiful, and I still do. I'm still drawn to this plant. However, I just have to warn you that this will die. Let's talk about the ZZ real quick. I cannot recommend the ZZ enough for your space. Like the Sansevieria, it's one of those plants that you could set it and forget it for quite a while. In fact, this is one of those plants that you just water once a month at the very most. They come in many different sizes and colors too. Not only that, but they're good luck And who's not opposed to more luck? ZZ plants are really forgiving with lighting, especially. You could pretty much put this anywhere in your home and it will be okay. However, medium light will make them the happiest. Do you have a dark corner that's far away from a window? We already know that the Sansevierias will work and the ZZs will be okay there. But let me introduce to you the Aglaonema. The Aglaonema, also known as the Chinese evergreen, is a great plant that's low light tolerant. They also come in different foliage colors, and some can be really striking. But Aglaonemas are a great, reliable plant that you can put in a darker place and it will tolerate it. I mean, you may have already seen Aglaonemas out in the wild, like at your doctor's or dentist office, perhaps. Maybe even the shopping mall, maybe even your office. But they're great indoor plants because they tolerate the lower light and they do really well with ambient lighting too. I just recently did a video on lucky plants and Aglaonema is also a lucky plant. It signifies having faith in the future, which is a beautiful sentiment. Now let's say that you are one of the luckiest people and you have windows all around, but you don't know what plants to get. This is the peace lily. Peace lilies are great for beginners because these plants communicate. When these get thirsty and need water, they droop. And all you need to do is give it some water and they perk right back up. Let's talk about the rubber plant. The rubber plant is an awesome choice, especially if you have really good lighting. Rubber plants are super easy. Rubber plants are a great durable choice. You can even miss a watering with these, but you will have to check on them a little more often than the ZZ or the snake plant. These come in different colors that they'll be a great choice for your home, no matter what style your home is. Like the ficus burgundy, which would be great for a more minimalistic aesthetic, or the variegated Tanika with a little more pizzazz, or the ficus ruby with its more striking leaves. The rubber plant's definitely a great choice if you want to add some greenery to your space. And if anything, they're just fun to grow. You can learn about the plant and encourage more branching. You can do that by snapping this little growth point off, and you'll start to see 2 little growth points coming out. That was really fun when I did that. Now let's get into some hanging plants. Hanging plants are a great way to add some intrigue and drama to your space, especially if you have a lot of overhead space. Trailing vines are always the best choice for hanging plants. They always add a little bit of beauty and romanticism to the space. Let me start with a pothos. You can never go wrong with a pothos. I will even go as far as saying that Pothos is the best choice because Pothos is super easy, very forgiving with light and watering. Exactly what you want for a hanging space if you want something that's low maintenance and easy care. They also come in different varieties like this Pothos Enjoy and this Pothos Marble Queen. But the most common and easiest to find, I would say, are the golden pothos. You can identify golden pothos by its green leaves and yellow splashing, also known as variegation. And when I say that they're easy to find, I'm not kidding. You could find this at Home Depot, Lowe's, any garden center, any nursery, at any time of the year. But I gotta say that this neon pothos is my favorite pothos. There's another hanging plant that's in the same vein as pothos, and that is the Syndapsis. Oftentimes it gets labeled as a pothos, the satin pothos, actually, but it's not a pothos. It is a Syndapsis, and these are great. The easiest ones to find are the Syndapsis pictus exotica, which has these nice, huge, big juicy leaves, and it has the beautiful silver splashing all over it. But I love that plant. It never gets old and it's so beautiful when it's nice spilling over the pot and trailing. They also come in the smaller leaf variety, the Syndapsis pictus argyrius, and these have the smaller leaves with the silver splashing on it still. These leaves are beautiful, they're nice, they're satiny, and gorgeous. And their care is the same as the pothos, same exact. Another one that gets lumped up with pothos oftentimes is the Hartley Philodendron. Same exact care. These are just as beautiful. Now, the differences are a little more subtle, but these are also a great choice for a hanging plant. If you wanted something a little different, there's the Philodendron Brazil, which has the yellow stripe. It's also known as variegation, but it's just a little detail that makes it a little different from all the other pothos that we've been looking at. I really love the bright orange stem that this philodendron has and the bright yellow variegation. It's just a really happy looking plant. And like the pothos, there's a few different varieties, like this philodendron lemon lime. Looks like a nice pot of gold. This requires a little brighter light, however, this will add a nice splash of color to any green space. And if velvety leaves intrigue you, there's the Philodendron micans, which is the velvety version of the Hartley Philodendron. Lucky for you, these are becoming more and more common too. You know, back in the day, people were spending like $75 for a pot like this. And now they're practically everywhere, so. Lipstick plants make great hanging plants, like this is a lipstick plant. Yeah, lipstick plants are great for medium to high light. This is the Black Pagoda lipstick plant, and it has these beautiful leaves. And they're called lipstick plants because of the flowers they put out. They look like little lipsticks coming out. Even when they're not flowering, they're super beautiful and really fun to grow. Let's talk about the prayer plants. Not all prayer plants are made equally. These are calatheas, and they're known to be very fussy and high maintenance. They even require special water. They don't necessarily like tap water, I'll tell you that. They like distilled or reverse osmosis water, or even rainwater, because tap water tends to have a lot more minerals and the chlorine, and those things will tend to burn the leaves. So unless brown edges are your aesthetic, I don't necessarily recommend calatheas. But when I first really got into houseplants, I just gravitated towards calatheas, so I totally get it. Let me show you a plant that would be better. This is the Maranta lemon lime to be exact. But the Maranta is so much more forgiving. It even lets you water it with pretty much any water. Or it's a little more tolerant of harder waters, so it takes a little longer to get the burnt edges. But honestly, I've been giving mine tap water and mine looks, I don't know, really good. Prayer plants are intriguing because the leaves move depending on the time of day. Marantas, calatheas, they all do that. And I love that about them. You might be tempted or are wondering about keeping succulents indoors. Well, you can, and some do better than others, and I'm going to tell you which ones do. Now, succulents require a lot of light, so these are for the lucky people with south-facing windows. String of pearls is a good one, but it can be tricky because they do like their water. But if you have a south-facing window and they get plenty of light, that should be no problem. You just got to stay on top of the watering, or else the little pearls will shrivel up into little raisins. Another one that you might be tempted to buy is the string of hearts. And if you are tempted to buy it, I say go for it. String of hearts is a great one to keep near a south-facing window. They do love the bright light, like I said, but they're really pretty and they'll be pretty happy indoors. The string of hearts aren't as demanding with water, so I'd say that the string of hearts are even a little easier than the string of pearls. Other great plants to keep on a south-facing windowsill would be aloe and haworthia. Haworthias are cool because some look like actual gems. I love haworthias, I can't get enough of them. Let's go back inside where the lighting is amazing. But monsteras are always a good choice. There's the Monstera adansonii or the Monstera deliciosa, but the adansonii will always be just a little bit thirstier than the Monstera deliciosa. But you gotta have space because plants grow. These are Monstera deliciosas. Now, it takes a few years to get this way, but just know that it'll eventually turn to this. Was that a lot? I feel like that was a lot. A huge thank you to Armstrong Nursery here at Costa Mesa for being so welcoming and letting me film here. But I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Please throw me a bone and give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my plant videos, come plant shopping with me. Hit that subscribe button. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I just don't want to miss you too much. So if you could show me some love in the comments, and I'll meet you there. Bye.
Baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove. Yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops. Yeah, baby, I got you. When you feel like falling, I'll be there to prove. Yeah, that baby, I got you. No matter the distance, no matter the hoops. Yeah, baby, I got you. 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 Baby, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Ocean in between us, still I feel your heartbeat. There's something about you, baby, that makes me feel complete.